That was Josh Harnett in an exclusive clip of Six Below, the first project from Tooley Productions. And joining me right now is the CEO of Tooley Productions, Tucker Tooley. His films have earned more than $1.2 billion at the domestic box office, including We're the Millers, which grossed $270 million worldwide. Great to see you, Tucker.
Great to be here.
And I loved We're the Millers.
Oh, thank you.
That was such a great film.
Thank you.
So when you look at that kind of a film, I mean, you're not talking about like major, mega blockbuster like the Star Wars in terms of cost. Is that what's working well, that mid-level in terms of cost, like a We're the Millers?
Look, I think it's a great model for producers and production houses. Frankly, you can defer a lot of your risk out of international ahead of time, so the amount of money that you have to put into the film to actually produce it is minimal compared to writing a check for a $200 billion, franchise film.
When you look at what's going on in terms of independent film, the entire industry right now, what should they be doing? How do you get that viewer back into the theater?
I think you have to create unique and interesting new experiences for the consumer, for the theater goer. I think that crosses the spectrum from increasing the experience in the theater and from making content that's very compelling and unique and new.
Do you think we're going to see more independent theaters take market share from some of the larger guys out there?
I think you'll see some consolidation, and I think you'll see a bit of both, actually.
All right, let's talk about consolidation for a moment,
Sure.
Because we know that, last week and earlier this week, Comcast announcing that it is, in fact, acquiring DreamWorks. What do you think about that deal? Do you think it goes through, and what does that tell us about where we are?
I think that it looks like the deal will go through, and I think there'll be more of that in the next 12 to 24 months. I think as the big studios get bigger, consolidation is a great way for them to grow.
And I understand wanting DreamWorks to animation is what everybody wants, right?
Family films are great.
Family film, and you have to compete with the juggernaut, which is Disney, acquiring those three, Marvel, Pixar, and George Lucas's company.
And it's a very strategic move. Jeffrey Katzenberg built an amazing studio, and I think Universal and Comcast acquiring it is a great move.
So do you think that they will have a shot to compete with,
I do.
Like a Star Wars?
I absolutely do.
How would you characterize the business right now?
I think the business is in a unique juncture. I think with more avenues for distribution and exhibition, I think it's a great opportunity for producers and production companies.
Well, that's the whole story of the moment, the advent and the rise of the digital world, right? The digital platforms, streaming. What does it look? How does the business change? What do viewers at home need to understand about this new way of watching content?
Well, look, I think windows will change at some point in time. I think that the theatrical experience will get better. I think there'll be more options for people who go to the theater, unique options in theater, and I think the experience overall will get better.
So Six Below is a big deal for you. This is your first project, Six Below. Tell us about it. We were showing a clip earlier. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. So it's a real-life story based on Eric Lamarck, who was a hockey player who was snowboarding in Northern California, got lost, and was effectively left for dead. They couldn't get in because of the weather. Several days went by, and they assumed he had passed away. 7.5 days later, they found him alive. And it's an inspiring true story. It's an amazing survival story.
It's amazing because it's true.
Yes, absolutely. It's ranked as one of the top 20 survival stories of all time.
How did he survive? I mean, I don't want you to give away too much of the movie, but he dug deep and found the will to survive, which is the common theme you hear amongst survivors in these types of situations. What a great story! And it hits theaters when?
It hit theaters at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Congratulations. That sounds fantastic.
Thanks.
So you were the president of Relativity for a bit, and then we thought Kevin Spacey initially took that role.
Yes, he was there for a minute.
We talked to him about it when we were in Davos.
Oh,
then a month later I saw that he was not doing that anymore.
So I think what's
happening with Relativity?
So look, they're out of bankruptcy, which is great. I think Dana Brunetti, who was Kevin Spacey's partner, is going to run the studio going forward, and I have a lot of respect for Ryan Kavanaugh and Relativity, and I'm glad they're back on their feet.
All right, Tucker, we will watch for Six Below. Good to have you on the program this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. Tucker Tooley there.